Hey guys, it's Marta. Today is another beautiful day. I'll be pruning my Panicle Hydrangeas. In the last video I was pruning Annabelles, and today I wanted to finish this part of the garden. So I will show you how I prune my Panicle Hydrangeas, and I will tell you how to get the biggest blooms you can, and I will show you what is growing in the borders. Let's go! So the first thing I will be doing today will be pruning my strong Annabelles. I will be pruning them the same as I've shown you in the previous video, so very hard prune, close to the ground, about 30 centimeters from the ground, only picking the really tough and pencil thick stems to be left. I always remove any spindly growth in any plant that I'm pruning. And then in the second layer of this border, we have limelight hydrangeas. They almost have no flowers left because we had such strong winds. They are very tall, so all of their flowers were there somewhere there, or I just cleaned them. When pruning your Panicle Hydrangeas, you can have different approach depending on what you need from your bush. If you want the bush of your hydrangea to be really tall and you want smaller flowers, you can only prune the spent flowers and leave it as it is. Then you will get some flowers, they will be smaller, but I think most of us want really big flowers, nicely held on the bush, so on thick stems. And then I will do a different pruning. So I will remove any spindly growth. I will leave only the thick pencil, thick stems, and then I will prune those stems that grew last year above the first or second node from the branching that was developed. This is for the back of the border if you want your plant to be bigger. But if you want your blooms to be like the biggest you can get, and for example your hydrangea is in front of the border, you can prune it really hard and then go really down, severe pruning, only leaving the really thick stems, and then your flowers will probably be definitely bigger. There will be less stems, but the impact of the huge blooms will be the best. Okay guys, let me shear down the strong Annabelles. I will prune them really quickly and then we'll see the limelight behind it and I will show you how I prune this one. Let's go! I have pruned my strong Annabelles really strongly, so they are pruned about 15-20 centimeters from the ground, leaving only thick stems. I removed all the dead stems, spindly stems, everything that didn't seem strong, removed. Now going to the next one. Okay, so the Annabelles, two of them are severely pruned. Now let's go to my limelight. This is one of my oldest limelights and I'll be pruning it a bit higher so we can see its flowers just behind the Annabelles. Okay guys, this is my limelight. This is an older bush and I wanted to show you this place where I pruned last year. This is the moment where I cut, and this is what grew from this pruning. And you can see we have three beautiful stems, pencil thick, so this is what we want. This is the perfect situation. And this year I will be pruning just above the first set of buds or the second set of buds, depending. You can, if you pruned here, it would also be fine, but I think it will hold the flowers better if I prune really hard. Then they will be stronger, the stems, and we might get even more flowers. But sometimes when you prune, you will not get the thickest stems you can. So these are too thin and this one is fine. So I will either prune those really hard, or I will just prune a bit lower so I get the strong stem. And maybe it will be only one that will hold a nice flower, but I don't want those. So I will usually prune them entirely. So I'm only relying on the strong stem that is pencil-like. This is the finished framework. As you can see, all of the stems are pencil thick. When I was pruning, I of course removed all the spindly growth, anything that seemed dead to me, and also the stems that are too weak and I didn't like them. If they even had something on their skin, I also removed them. Then I looked at the stems. If there is a possibility they will be rubbing on one another, then when the stems are rubbing, you will have some damage to the plant, and some diseases might get in and damage our plant. So I'm always trying to prune so none of them are crossing and touching. And this is the framework. I really hope they will. Oh, I can see a damaged one. I will prune it too. Yeah. Yes, this is good. This was something rubbing on something, and the thing was damaged. So this is how I leave it. I will be fertilizing in the spring, but March. And now it is pruned. I can clean this border and it will look perfect. Let's see a smaller one now. Okay, now let's see my younger limelights that are in front of this border. Okay, now meet hydrangeas, paniculatas that are loving their life. These plants have been here. This is the third year they've been in the ground in my garden. The material was extremely good. My friend Agnes sent me those, and they are the best hydrangeas I have in my garden. I have a lot of limelights, so left to me you will have a lot of limelights. Here I have Magical Moonlight and Polar Bear, and they are blooming like crazy. This is what I always say, and I am always so impressed. As you can see, I'm really excited what they will show me this year. So these plants have a lot of stems because the material was so good, but they are also loving the conditions they are growing in. This space is very sunny. This is a very wet border, and a lot of plants didn't want to grow here. For example, I had a lot of Taxus baccata here, and it was always sick. It didn't like having their feet wet, and the hydrangeas are loving it. So this space is really good for them, but they are also, the first year they were blooming like none of the hydrangeas I've ever seen. So good space, good material equals incredible results for the gardener. So these are the limelights I've just pruned a few days ago. When we have beautiful weather, I just go and try to do a few of them, and next day a few more and few more. But I wanted to show you the one that is not pruned. This is how tall this plant is. So look, I reduced the plant for about more than a half. And I'm always looking at the space I pruned last year, and I'm trying to cut just above the first set of buds. Sometimes I will go even lower. If I see that the stems were weak, then I will cut even more. Okay, let's prune another one. I will start from here, from looking at the last year prune, and then removing the spindly growth, crossing growth, and we'll be done with the next one. I really need to be careful not to step on my bulbs that are emerging. There are so many things coming up from the ground because we have tulips, we have daffodils, we have hyacinths, so I really need to be careful. I get a lot of questions about the bulbs. Some people are asking, mine are still not growing, I don't see them. It might happen. Sometimes it depends on the place where you live, if it's warm enough, when you put your bulbs in the ground. So I'm always saying that if they are to get out of the soil, they will. They will not be shy, and if they died or something ate them, they will not come up. So we always have to be patient. I'm going every day with my coffee and I'm searching for the signs of life, and I think it's one of the nicest things you can do as a gardener, to see how everything wakes up when spring comes, especially on a day like this when you hear all of those birds. It's like true pleasure. These are my crocuses. These are the pickwick ones. I've been planting them this fall, so I can't wait for this show because there are so many of them, and I just really can't wait to see how it will look like. This is something different in this border, so I really like that, putting the work in the fall and then seeing the results. Let me know what have you done in your garden. Are you also excited as me when the spring comes, the sun is shining, it's warm, the birds are singing, and you go into the garden for a few hours. You come back and everything hurts and you're dirty and full of dust, but you're so happy. Are you the same as me? And you are like, I've been waiting for this for a few months and now it's happening. So I really love this feeling. Okay guys, it's time to get the work done, so I'm going to prune my hydrangeas, all of them. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, hit that subscribe button so you'll get all of those videos when we'll be pruning, cleaning, doing all of that stuff, and then admiring the hard labor we've done and how the plants are responding to that. Can't wait for the results. See you in the next one. Bye.